Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hi.
I am pulling out my notes. I need to get I need to get this so that they don't have to, there he is. Today is September 14th. Hey, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Great, thanks.
Awesome. I talked to Wade Cricken and Linda last night at the they have a client, Marco, I think is his name. Did y'all catch his name last night? Was his name Marco that was sitting at the table with Linda?
Oh, I didn't get it.
Marco Carlos. Marco. Shoot. Anyway, he's got some land that he wants to build on, and I guess it's going through a divorce or went through a divorce. And so anyway, Wade says he can use that land as the collateral. So Linda said they hadn't heard back from you, but Marco or Carlo, whatever his name is, literally said, we haven't even been in touch with him yet. So they may be contacting you.
Okay, great.
Here's Miss Lydia coming on in. There you are. Hi. Okay, while we're waiting for other people to join in, I'll just start with Chris because he's been here the longest with me. So Chris is with Blazing Star Capital. He works with Gobby Lockhart, and he's up in the Wichita Falls area. And then Veronica and Brian, right? Veronica and Brian Guzman are in the McKinney area, and they are looking for fix and flip, buy and hold rentals. And Lydia, you want to tell me what all you do?
Among other things, I visit job sites that have flea infestations, which I'm just leaving.
Do you do like I always did, and like before you get in the car, like scrape off your legs to try to make sure you don't put any fleas in your car?
The first time we discovered the fleas. We did the flea dance for like 15 minutes, and we still got some in the car, but we've had them treated, so there are just a few stragglers this time.
Yeah.
But I'm meeting contractors. I'm gonna go off camera for a little bit because I am low on battery, and I'm gonna find a shady spot to park.
Okay, so. Well, this is recorded, so I will get it uploaded to YouTube and get it sent out to everybody. That way you can go back and watch any part that you missed. Do you want to start off and tell us what you're looking for, or what you might have that other people are interested in?
Yeah, so what I'm looking for right now is someone that will refinance a small commercial property we've got that we haven't had that long. I found someone that'll do it, but they need 6 months seasoning, and I would really like my cash back out. It's a small office building. So that's a thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for contractors.
How long have you had that building?
I've had the building since June, so I guess we're up to 90 days now.
Was it leased before did you buy it with a tenant already in it?
No, we bought it to renovate and then lease, and we're mostly done with the renovation. That's like we're 2 weeks away from that being done, and we don't have a lease in place yet.
And you don't have a lease yet. Okay.
Yeah. So
you're on rent and refi. Okay. Chris, I guess you're writing all that down. Oh, you're on mute, I think.
Sorry, here we go. Just taking some notes here.
Okay, good deal. Lydia, what's your number?
469 348 8714.
And where is the property located?
It's in southern Dallas near the VA.
Cool.
Have you considered, okay, it's a commercial, it's office, right?
Yep.
Okay. Chris, did you have some questions?
No.
Okay.
I'll reach out later.
Awesome. Okay. Very cool. And things I have as resources, I'm on like 30 wholesaler distribution lists. So if anyone wants any of those, I'm happy to oblige.
Yes,
Okay.
we would like to get on the list.
Cool. Put your info in the chat, and I'll send you the
Well,
list. It's a bunch of
you
different
gave me your-
lists.
You gave me your card yesterday. I'm just to email you directly.
Yeah, perfect. That'll work. Great. And so I'm a good resource for that. I'm a good resource for new investors who are interested in not making all the mistakes I made. So I'm a good mentor. I'm a kind of good sort of mid-level mentor if someone's just starting out and trying to get their first deal. And I'll partner with people and I'll partner with people and bring the money if they want to bring the rehab, or vice versa.
Okay, great. Yeah,
And
we'll
of course-
touch bases on that.
Say again?
I said we'll definitely touch bases on that. That'll be great. That'll be a great help to just
Cool.
kind of connect with you and get some insight.
Yeah, and I'll manage rehab projects for people. I'm doing that right now. I've
Lydia,
done
where do you
enough
live?
that, you know, I know how to deal with the bad surprises. The fleas were the least of it.
Lydia, where do you live?
So
Lydia?
I think I froze it.
Yeah. Can
I'm
you
in-
hear me, Lydia?
I'm in Oak Cliff.
You live in Oak Cliff?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm gonna drop.
Oh, your tree you parked under is not the best
the
tree.
video
Okay, we're gonna move on to,
now just for reception purposes.
I'm gonna move over to Chris. I know he's got some information to share about hard money lending. So Chris, go right ahead.
Great.
Sure. Well, I think I think what everyone is talking about right now is BRRRR loans, right? It's on the tip of everyone's tongue. And what is it? How do we get it? How, you know, all of the specifics on that. So I think it's important just, that's what I had prepared to bring in today, was just a quick rundown of the BRRRR method, what it means, how to do it, what are some obstacles that you can avoid, which should be pretty helpful. So it should just take me a couple of minutes. Is that okay, Karen?
Right ahead.
Awesome. So the BRRRR strategy or the BRRRR method is so simple. It's so simple, guys. It's no different than a fix and flip loan coupled with a cash out refinance. That's all it is. So you hear these gurus on the, you know, on the internet and everywhere, they're just blowing up this BRRRR method. You got to go BRRRR, you got to do this, you got to do that. But guys, it's not as difficult as they make it sound, right? And you can get it. You can get qualified very easily. In fact, if you can get qualified for a fix and flip loan, you're halfway there. Okay, so the BRRRR method is simple. It's you're going to buy the property and you're going to rehab it. That's the first two steps, right? So that's a fix and flip loan, right? And then after you've rehabbed it, then you're going to rent it out. Okay. And then you're going to rent it out for a little while and you're going to refinance. You're going to cash out refinance it, not a typical refinance where you're just rolling the whole loan into another loan. You're going to cash it out. That's the most important part because you're getting money out of the property, right? So you buy it, you rehab it, you rent it out, then you refinance it, and then you rent it out, then you refinance it, and then you rent it out, and you refinance. You just keep repeating your rent and refinance cycle. And it's so valuable because you can get into a property very quickly with a fix and flip loan, right? Say you're able to get qualified on a fix and flip loan for 12 months. Even if it's 12% interest, that's 1% interest per month, right? So you're going to get in, you're going to rehab the property because hopefully your fix and flip loan, your lender did a good job and they included that the rehab, right? So you get in, you buy the property, you fix it up, and then you rent it out, right? While you're in the rental stages, right? So you rent it out for a while. One question that I get asked is, while I'm in the rental phase, right? I've already purchased the property, I've already fixed it up. Now I'm in the rental phase and I have good long-term renters in there and they're doing a great job. But I just got, I just got these renters in there, right? So you're still in this 12-month loan. You want to get out of the 12-month loan, so you want to cash out, refinance it after your rehab is done, right? You can go ahead and put your renters in. Hopefully your rehab didn't take you a whole year and you were able to go ahead and get renters in and start cash flowing on the property. But one question I always get asked is, while I'm in the rental phase, when should I order an appraisal on the property so that I can refinance it, right? The number one thing that I can say is, don't do it until it's time, right? Don't jump the gun on that, because you can hurt yourself a lot by having it appraised too soon. Also, you have to make sure that you're seasoning that property for a while. Some lenders on refinance will want to see 6 months seasoning, like Lydia was saying. Some only need 3 months seasoning. Some don't have a seasoning requirement at all, if you're looking at private money and things like that. So there are so many things to take into account. But if you jump the gun and you try and go straight into, well, I've done my fix and flip. Now I've refinanced the loan and I've got a renter in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and get an appraisal, and then you're going too fast. So there are some really important things to remember. Number one, it can be used, your refinance part of the loan. So your first part's the fix and flip. That's a short term, right? But everyone on the internet is telling you that a BRRRR loan is a 30-year loan. Okay. And it should be, right? So you do your fix and flip first, then after your fix and flip, you refinance into a 30-year loan. Okay. It's not complicated. It's just 2 loans. Everyone makes it sound like it's this one big loan program and it's super complicated. And, oh, you got to follow my steps precisely or you're going to fail. Guys, it's not like that at all. So it's just 2 loans. It's super simple, a fix and flip, and then you pair it with a refinanced 30-year term, right? So there are some stipulations, though. You can only use it on properties that you do not own or occupy. Okay, can't use this method on the house that you live in, right? And it cannot have partial occupancy. It has to be fully occupied. Whatever, if it's an apartment complex, you have to make sure that you're occupied if you're using the BRRRR method. And there are some things that can play in there where if it's say you have a 40-unit apartment complex or a 100-unit apartment complex, are you going to always be at 100% occupancy? Probably not, right? So on large commercial projects like that, there are some, your lender has different stipulations and levels, but on single family, it should be fully occupied, right? And with us, we can go as low as 55,000 on loans. So since we're talking about a long-term loan, on the 30-year portion of this loan, we can go down to 55,000 and up to 2 million. Okay, we can do single families, we can do duplexes, we can do triplexes and quadplexes, we can do townhomes. Those are probably the absolute best places to use the BRRRR method. Now there are some things to keep in mind. Just like with any loan, you have to make sure that your purchase is not over 70% of the ARV, right? These should be numbers that you always have in your head, right? You don't want to exceed 65 or 70% of the ARV. You want to make sure on that's on the purchase portion, and you should expect up to 80% of the loan to cost. So that means that you should expect, it's just kind of a fancy way of saying you need 20% down. Okay, so make sure you don't exceed 70% of the ARV on your purchase price, and make sure that you can find 20% down. And now that doesn't all have to come from the same lender, right? All of your money doesn't have to come from the same lender. So you can pull in private funds. You can pull in a secondary loan to take a second lien position to help bridge the gap. But in theory, you want 70% of the 70% of the ARV to be your purchase price, no more. And you don't want to, or you want to make sure that you have cash available for your down payment. Typically, it'll be 20%. On the refinance portion, you can expect 75% to be refinanced, okay, by the lender, and they'll cash out about 70%. Okay. So if you have a loan that, well, I can run through some examples here, but the next thing that I always get asked is my credit good enough to even get qualified for these types of loans, right? So the question is, it depends. I mean, the answer is it depends. So Blazing Star Capital, the company that I work for, we have, we're a private lender. We have over 30 different lenders that work with us. And now one good thing about working with a private lender is we are not, we don't have to maintain all of the strict lending standards that you find in the conventional space, right? So a lot of people call it hard money. Some people call it private money. We're actually private money because we are not licensed with the government to provide specific loan types, right? We can provide any kind of loan type. Typically hard money lenders
Sorry, I'm
are
one of those phone
banks
people.
and, lending institutions. Typically, we're not that. So we can help with different credit ranges, right? So, for example, we have a lender that loves the Burr method, loves it. In fact, they'll pre-qualify you for your refinance on your purchase agreement, on your purchase loan. So they'll set it up as they set up the fix and flip. They'll go ahead and set up the refinance for, whenever their seasoning period is over, and they'll get the whole thing set up for you. So in essence, you're taking out a 30-year loan.
You're bridging into the conventional, in other words, the 30-year fix.
Well, it's still non-QM, so it's still not a conventional loan.
Okay.
But it works the same way.
Yeah.
So with this particular lender that'll put it all together for you at the beginning, they want to see a 680 credit score. However, we have lenders that will that'll do your fix and flip, and they can go down to 600, right? 620 on average. So let's say you go with one of our fix and flip loans, and you were qualified at say you had a 620 credit, and then we will then cash out, refinance you with a different lender to make sure that you qualify, right? If the credit was kind of out of whack with that particular lender's requirements on the refinance. The property value, to really maximize your Burr loan, your property value, the property has to be a minimum of 100,000. Anything
after it's repaired, or
that's right. That would technically be your appraised value.
So you got your property you got for 55,000. You put 20 into it, so now you're at 75,000, and you get it appraised, and you're ready to do the refi part. Now it's worth 100, so you're at that 75%. So you can cash out that higher interest loan into your longer loan.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's what I was going to. That's the biggest point about working with Blazing Star, is that they shop for those private lenders for you. And yes, it costs you money to get in with that. They charge points, things like that. But number one, it's cost of doing business. People always forget that. It's deductible. And you're going to be able to lower your tax, whatever, by taking your deduction, which is your expenses. But they have people that work with you because they see the entire picture. They're not like, oh, you don't qualify because of this. They'll say, oh, I would love to finance Veronica's deal. This is what I need. I'm going to give her this, and this is what I need. And she can say, great, Chris, sign me up. And Chris will do the documents. Or she can say, that's a little high. Can we get that interest rate down? So Chris can go back and negotiate for you.
Absolutely.
Hey, she would like to have a little bit of a lower interest rate. What can you do? And he might say, well, she's going to have to put a little more down. Okay. So there's three things, right, Chris? That's
right.
Experience, credit, cash.
That's right.
You got to have two. So if you don't have the experience, but you have the cash and the credit, you should be able to get in with these. And those lenders say, okay, this is my requirement. Veronica has terrible credit. She doesn't. She has great credit. But Veronica would know, I don't have good credit, but I have experience and I have money to put down. And then the lender says, Chris knows, anybody with bad credit, I have to go with only these lenders. It's kind of like a filtering. They have great credit, but they don't want to put any money in it, but they have experience, then maybe they're going to go with this person or these four lenders. Only these four lenders land with that. So they have their qualifications, and then they have to match that up. to the lender with the investor. Okay. And then they filter, and then you may end up with only one offer, or you may end up with 3. And then you know, they present them to you and you pick the best one that works for you. And then y'all move forward. So a lot of people get stuck in this part, like when they're looking for, or a lot of times they'll shop for money. They'll call this lender, this lender, this lender, this lender. They're wasting all this time because these 4 are scammers, or they put money down to the wrong person because it was a scammer, and now they lost their money and now they're in a pickle.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. And like Lydia said, you know, find a mentor that will help you not make the same mistakes, because we've made the mistakes. Trust me, we've made the mistakes and learned those lessons. And this is the one lesson that I learned, is people that loan shop waste time, waste money, and your energy and your frustration. Like, I wasted all kinds of time just trying to find a rental property that I could move into with my kids this summer. And I was getting scammed. And I'm like, this is bullcrap. So I went and found a legitimate property manager and contacted him and said, this is what I have. This is my situation. This is what I need. I've got money. What I need to do. And they said, sorry. They said, these are our properties we have available. And I said, I want to look at these 2. I went and looked at them and made my decision. And I immediately regretted it the next day. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to soak in that tub. And I'm like, that's a different house. I didn't get that house. I got that house. Still have a nice tub, but I was in my brain, I was already seeing myself living in that house. So, we have options. And that's what's great about Chris and Gabi, is like you said, they don't have to fit in that box. Oh, you're a 590 instead of a 600. Can't help you. No, they can say, let's work on getting this up. I definitely want to make sure I talk about that today, about the credit game, because I had a very cool training yesterday with Dennis, and I've got some great ideas for that. But thank you, Chris, for sharing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Chris, can I ask a couple questions real quick?
Sure.
As far as like the initial phase of like the buying and rehabbing, what interest rate do you guys start out for newbies?
Right. So it varies really. So we work with out of our 30 lenders, every lender has probably 10 different loan programs, right? And they all have their own rates. And so so to answer your question, I don't know. We don't know until we present your deal. But to go back to what Karen was saying, one of the reasons that people work with us is because we guard your personal information. We never share it, right? So think about this. If you're applying for a loan and you want to apply with these different countries, you're sending all of your personal information to each one, right? And each one of those probably have affiliate systems where they're sharing your information with affiliate businesses that are also going to start spamming you. And again, that's how people get screwed and get their identity stolen, all kinds of horrible things, or get caught up with scammers, because then a scammer will they'll take that information, they'll find you on Facebook, and then hey, did you get my message yesterday? Like just hit you out of the blue with some random thing, and then they start this conversation. Well, then you're hooked, right? So we never share your personal information with anybody. None of our lenders that we personally vet, like even though we know them and we trust them, we never share your information ever until you receive terms that you want to move forward on. Only then does the match complete, right? So we match you with the lenders, but only after you say, yeah, I want those terms, then that completes the match. Then we can share your information with them. But that's one thing. We get a lot of pushback from some of our lenders because hey, give me the person's address and phone number, just put it on the file. I need it on the application, whatever it is. But some of these people, none that we work with anymore, but we have worked with some that would then go behind us and they would reach out to you directly and say, hey, I can shave off 2%. I can shave off the lender's fees, the broker's fees, because you can just work directly with us. Well, guess what, guys? We only charge 2% of the loan. That's it, period, ever. We never go over 2%. That's cheaper than working with a realtor.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it is.
Yes.
And it's going to save you money. It's cheaper than going with conventional financing because they can go up to 3.5, 4 points. So I just wanted to go back to that because, Karen, people are getting scammed every single day because they're shopping loans.
I have worked with so many people that says, hey, does this look legit? I'm like, no, No. See right there where they want you to make a deposit in a different account before closing? No.
Yeah.
So my first question to anyone is always, oh, great. I'm glad you are a private lender that you don't know me from Adam, but thank you for finding me. What are your fees?
Exactly.
What are your fees? I don't ask what the interest rate is. What are the fees? What are your fees? What are your upfront fees? What are your closing fees? In other words, what's the catch?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or I'll say, just go ahead and send me something over and I'll look at it. I'll be happy to take a look at it. And then I scan through and I see you're going to have to make a deposit in a separate account to assure that we're going to get our monthly payments. And it's crazy.
Karen, you're going to have to go to Dollar General and you're going to have to go get a gift card. And then you're going to have to call me back and give me the number on the gift card. And then you're going to have to go back tomorrow because I'm going to do it all again.
Yep.
It's horrible. These scammers, they're out for blood. It's bad out there.
Exactly. So yeah.
We don't do any of that.
Anytime anybody reaches out to me on Facebook or any kind of social media, I'm always like, how can I help you? And I've actually had one guy was like, is that the way you talk to everybody? You're so rude. And I'm like, dude, you're lucky I even answered you. I'm busy. I'm a busy person. I was like literally coming in here at 11:58. I'm like, hey, cords, where's my computer? Where's my cord? Where's my pad? I'm like trying to get it all pulled out. And I'm like, I gotta go to the restroom. I don't have time to go to the restroom. I've got stuff to do.
You got to hold it.
Yeah. But I had my stretch at the chiropractor today. So I'm like, ready to move. So you have any more questions for Chris?
I can touch bases with you after, if that's fine with you.
Absolutely, guys. Any information you need about any of our loan products, if you want more information on the Burr method, in fact, I'll put together a presentation and I'll get with Karen and I can bring more information about the Burr method to one of these meetings. But it's a fantastic way to get into the property. So any questions you have, definitely reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook. And then of course, blazingstarcapital.com.
blazingstarcapital.com. Okay.
Yep. Perfect. Veronica, what about you and Brian? What do y'all got going on?
Trying to find a deal. No success.
So what's interesting is you guys are actually looking. You're out there looking. So last week I had lunch with Veronica. Somehow she won lunch with me and she paid for it. Still haven't figured out how that all worked out. But we had great. Oh, I was like, oh my God, did I miss an appointment? I'm having lunch with Terry tomorrow. So I was like, did I miss that? But so she said, I found some properties and we looked them up and who do you use for skip tracing or what do you do next? And so I said, you know what? I haven't done this in a while, so let me go do this. I'll go home, we'll Zoom, and I walked her through it step by step. These are my addresses that I have accumulated that I want to buy that are in my neighborhood or in my area. And, this is how I get the information. Then I put it in my spreadsheet and I sent it off to Direct Skip and got the phone numbers and email addresses back immediately. I went ahead and emailed them. I sent them a letter, a handwritten letter. And literally in my invitation style envelopes, handwritten, get opened, and then called, emailed, handwritten letter. And then I even went so far as to text them from my cell phone. I'm not doing bulk. I'm not doing thousands a month. My niche, my focus. But when I was doing thousands, with Johnny and I up in North Texas, we made the mistake one month of sending out 25,000 the same day. Don't recommend that. Stagger them. So we figured out we could handle about 2,500 a week. I'm sorry, 5,000 a week. So we sent out 2,500 on Monday. They would hit on Wednesday. We sent out 2,500 on Friday to hit on Monday. We did not send out on Wednesday because they got them on. I said the mail house only mailed on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if we mailed on Wednesday, they dropped and hit on the weekend. So we did Friday to arrive on Monday, and then Monday we had the whole week for them to receive it and call us. It was really we had it down to a science. It's like first 2 days, phone was ringing off the hook. and then they dwindle off after that. But I was literally getting out of the car at Hurricane Harbor, or maybe it was somewhere in, anyway, we were somewhere, and I was getting out of the car. It was a Saturday morning at 10, and my phone started blowing up. And I was like, mail dropped. So it's always funny because you know when the oh, you know what it was? It was the first one. We had dropped it on the right day, but the phone rang, and the people were from California, and that's where the mail house was. So they got theirs the next day. That's what it was. So yeah, you learn, like Lydia said, learn from someone that's done it. And so anyway, we did that. And one of the houses I've been watching, I've seen it for 2 months, and I haven't called about it. So I finally got them, and they'd already sold the house. But I did remember that I saw the pink survey flags, so I knew something was going on with it. I saw a whole bunch of houses one time that were in a row on a highway, and I was like, that house looks vacant. That house looks vacant. That house looks vacant. So I took note and went, looked them up, and we mailed to them, and they were widening the road. So the city had bought it, and then they didn't widen the road. So the city had bought the property, and it was sitting there vacant, not knowing what to do with it because they ran out of funds or something. I can't remember what the whole story was. But then another time we were walking and found an empty house, and I was like, oh, look, that house is vacant. I'll make a note of the address. And then we were walking, that house is vacant. And we walked, and the entire block was like 90% vacant houses. Still well kept up. Really couldn't tell, but I knew, you learn to know.
Yeah.
And I went home and looked it up, and it was all the same owner. And what they did was I don't know how long they did it. I never did talk to them and find out, but they bought the houses as they become vacant. And they eventually bought the whole city block, demoed all the houses, and built 2-story townhouses on one side. And then they kept the road frontage on Highway 75 to sell to, I guess, commercial, or see how well those did. So they built them, they rented them, they put in carports. You can charge more for carports, all this kind of stuff. So it's pretty genius. But I don't know how much they paid, and I don't know how long they had to hold on those properties empty, because you couldn't rent them, because that defeated the purpose. You couldn't, because you wanted to have them eventually empty. So I don't know. Okay, so all right, me. I had an interesting meeting with Dennis yesterday. I don't see my notes. We're here somewhere. We're going to play the credit game. So Dennis and Norma at one point had over 300 credit cards. Their credit score is like 8 or above, like the high 7s, 8s or whatever. And they taught us so many tips yesterday. And that is one of the things that I feel like holds a lot of investors back, is their credit. And if they had that one piece of the puzzle, they wouldn't have to have the others. So I think I'm considering what I'm considering doing. Number one, Eric and I are going to work on automating Eric and I, because Eric was in my training yesterday with Dennis. This is like an elite training. So it was different than it's part of one of the training modules in the mentoring program, but we're going to take it a step farther, and we're going to dive deep and do like workshops.
Okay.
So like, for example, the first step in fixing your credit is, number one, pulling your credit and knowing what's on it. So you have 3 different, you have TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You pull your credit report from each of those. You can do like one free a year and see what's on it. And then that's the first step. And the second step is to write a letter disputing the negative things on your credit. And it's, there's a letter, type it up, copy, paste, grab the name. So there's a lot of ways that I can automate that for people. So I'm thinking about creating an app in one of my workspaces that basically says, there's only one address for TransUnion, one for Equifax, one for Experian. So why do you need to do that more than once? I'll click this button. This is who I want to address it to. This is TransUnion. This is the thing I need to remove. Copy, paste it. This is the reason I'm disputing. So I'll have like a list of all the normal disputes. I don't recognize this. This was paid in full. All the things that I can see on Credit Karma. All the reasons, typical reasons. And then I'll have an other field where if you have another reason, you'll have to type it in. Push a button. It's going to automatically put your name, the date. It's going to create the letter for you. Print it, sign it, put it in an envelope, mail it. So that's step 1. So I'm thinking, when you sign up, before you come to this workshop, you need to bring your 3 credit reports with you, not for me, but for yourself. And then I'm going to go over all the basics of getting to this point. This is how you do it. This is why you do it. And then now let's go. Now we're going to take a month. So everybody's going to go spend a month getting your letters written or prepare your letters, get them printed out, get them mailed. And then it's going to be 30 days before when they receive it, they have 30 days to respond. So then I better do like 6 weeks because you better give you some time to get those ready and all that. And then 6 weeks later, we'll come back and we'll say, okay, you had your responses and some of you got your stuff removed. How many did you get removed and which ones came back and said, nope, that's correct. Now we got to go on to the next step, which is step 3, which is to dispute it again for a different reason. Okay. Then about 6 weeks later, we'll come back again and we'll see how did everybody do. What issues did you run into? What problems did you have? And then after that, then the next step is to call the Experian, TransUnion, whoever, and get those things removed. And if they won't do it, then you call the creditor. And if they won't do it, then you ask to speak to a supervisor and you make sure you get their name, because then you tell them, I'm going to be suing this company that is ruining my credit and you personally because you won't remove it. Anyway, there's a lot of little tips, like just making sure that you only have one address and one name. So get all the rest of them removed. Just little things like that we can get done in that first 6 weeks and in the next 6 weeks. And anyway, I'm anxious. I want to play like it's a credit game. So we're going to see how, like, take everybody. I don't need to know everybody's credit score. I just want everybody to say, this is how I've improved mine by doing this. This is how I improved mine, and see how we can, have 10 people that get their credit up 100 points. That's like 1,000 points. So I thought it'd be fun. So it's just something I'm kind of working on. Eric and I are going to do like in person, like it'll be a workshop. But I want to get the app ready first. So that I want it to be easy, because if I give you a lot of complicated stuff to do to go fix your credit on your own, you're not going to do it. Let's face it, I wouldn't do it. I'd be like, hire somebody. But so many people, if they have bad credit, they can't afford to hire someone to fix their credit. So I was super excited about that yesterday, because I'm like, oh, the getaway's next week. We're going to be in Mexico and I'm not going to have anything to focus on after that. So what's my next thing? So I always have to have something in the works. So speaking of that, I am going to be in Mexico next week. So I need somebody to jump in here and take over the call. I need to give like my login and stuff. So if anybody's interested in volunteering for that, all you got to do is pop on at noon and talk to people just like I just did. Write down what do you start with somebody. What do you have? What do you need? And I still am looking for some commercial contractors in the Arlington area. And Lydia, I might reach out to you about maybe some project management, things like that, because you kind of live near the area, but not really. How far are you from Arlington? Lydia may not be able to hear me. But I see David popped on. If anybody needs to go, I know we've already been on 40 minutes, but David.
Oh, Karen,
Yes?
I am not far from Arlington. I'm like 20 minutes from Arlington.
Okay, well, I'm like an hour and 20 minutes from Arlington. So,
Cool.
But I am looking for a commercial builder there. So I'll pick your brain later. I got your number. David?
Yeah.
What you got going on?
Well, actually, I was a little late to this because I'm chasing down a lead for this house out in Arlington, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, this guy's helping his dad sell it, so I'm trying to get it subject to, and we're just trying to get in contact with them. They said they wanted me to call right at noon, and then I called, nobody answered, so it's kind of been a back and forth. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm working on, just that, and trying to put all the information into this contract. And if I can get it at the right price, the comps look good, and I might be asking one of you guys to see if you wanted to partner up on it.
Okay.
And
you said are you buying it subject to?
I'm working on it. Yeah, we're working on it. The son said he was possibly open to it, but the dad, he's the holder, so we'll see. Yeah, I just contacted them today, so
Is he behind?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about any details. Like I said, this is brand new.
Okay. So yeah, if you need any help with that, I'm definitely a person to go to on that.
Perfect.
I'm here in Sept. I'm like right now.
Yeah.
Arlington.
Yeah. Spot, right in the sweet spot.
Yeah. Well, Arlington seems to be the place to go. I was there
Mhm.
yesterday. That's where Dennis lives, and that's where our corporate headquarters is.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so I go there every Tuesday, and then we go have lunch at Max. Well, I would say we have lunch. We have soup and salad at Max.
Yeah.
We're all a little bit addicted to it, but it's good and healthy and clean.
sounds
So
good.
it's a great place. So, but
Yeah,
although the
yeah.
girls
Oh, it's
beside me
dope.
were having pretty pink martinis, and I was like,
Not opposed. I don't see any kind
it's
of
a little bit
opposition.
early.
The
But
joys of real estate investing.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, I'll definitely keep you in mind. Also, Lydia, I haven't forgotten Lydia's. I remembered you said that you'd be willing to partner up on stuff. So, between all of us, I think we can definitely make something work.
Definitely. It was great seeing you last night.
Thank you too.
What is your girlfriend's name, or is it your fiance or your girlfriend?
Girlfriend, Melissa.
Melissa,
Yeah.
what?
Melissa Yoon, Yoon.
Okay, I have her number. We chit chat, we text, and I never got her. I didn't remember her name. I'm like,
Yeah.
so it was good seeing you guys last night. So,
Yeah, you
Chris,
too.
all of us were at Eric's meeting last night.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. David, you missed Chris. He is with Blazing Star Capital. And
Hello, Chris.
so you missed his part in the beginning, but I did record today's session. I remembered. I actually had to go back and set it to automatically record so that y'all have to watch me looking at the camera occasionally, like the first minute until somebody actually comes on. But I'm like, if I stop it, I'll forget to start it again. And then if I don't set it to record, I won't record it. And then I can't share it back with anybody later. So, and there are a lot of people that work in the daytime, so or travel or whatever, and they can't always make it. Tyler missed one. I'm about to give him 30 lashes for missing today. He never misses. But last week he was getting his, was it last week or the week before last? He was getting his global entry. I'm like, now I'm even more jealous because you got global entry. I need to do that. I can get it like that. I just haven't, it's paperwork. It's bureaucracy.
Yeah.
I'll do that whenever I have to renew because mine expires in 2025. So, but I haven't lost them. I've made it a whole week without losing my passport again. I got it all right. See, a pretty little packet. Who was that? It was Veronica, right?
Yeah.
I came in from lunch last week and she's like, "Are you ready to Zoom?" I'm like, I don't know where my passport is. I pulled it out and put it in a safe place. And I don't know where my safe place is. I mean, I went through my entire file box, everything, and I had stuck it in this is closing documents. And so I had taken the closing documents out and filed them. And I had this cute little plastic, and I happened to pull it out and there was my passport. So now I'm still prepared. So anyway, I will let you guys know about next week. If y'all try to log in and there's nobody here, it won't let you in. It's like leaving you in the waiting room or whatever. I don't know if you can come in whenever I'm not in the room yet, or if y'all just
in the room.
Well, I didn't have to today. Everybody was able to come in because I put a password, but I think I disabled the waiting room. But I don't know if y'all can get in to the waiting room, into this room until I come on, or until someone logs into my account. So I'll see if I can find somebody, and I might be able to do it. But if nobody's here next week, that's why. You didn't miss anything. It's just because I'm in Cancun.
Enjoy it.
All right. Well, I hope to see all you guys there next year, 2023. Mastermind Getaway 2023. Yeah, we did it. We do it annually. September is generally the best time when they can get the best rate for a group that we have enough places open. Like in the summer, it's just too hot. But the September is hurricane season. September, October. So that's why we get the better rates, because it's not a highly sought after time for people to go to Mexico, because you could get your trip ruined by a hurricane. But there was a hurricane before last year, and there was a hurricane like a couple weeks before, so there was still a lot of damage. a lot of the little tiki hut things, like we're missing their little thatch roof, whatever. But it was fine. Okay, well, I will see you guys Sunday night on Sunday night's call, Real Impact Network, or go to any of our Facebook or web meetup sites to get the link for that, or go back and just go to Real Impact Network on YouTube and subscribe to the channel, and it'll show you on Sunday night. It'll pop up that we're going live at 7 this week. Yes, I was like, no, we won't be here. It's next week. We won't be here on Sunday night. So, but oh well, we'll be in Cancun. I'll be all nice and tan. I feel like I'm losing my tan. I haven't been outside since haven't been out to the pool or laying out or anything since family reunion, which was in beginning of August. So
Much needed sunshine town.
that's right. That's right. All right. So David, were you anything else that you're needing from anybody that you're looking for?
Currently, no. For this place, based on the pictures that I've seen, I might need somebody that does good flooring and drywall. So, I mean, kind of light contract stuff. But
I do have a contractor. I wish that I had saved. I'm gonna have to look back through all my text messages.
Yeah.
I don't remember who I was talking to last night. I'm like, yeah, I have that, but I don't remember what I saved him under. I usually save him under contractor, but was it you?
What's that?
Was it you that I was looking for something yesterday? I was like, I don't remember what I saved it as.
The other day. Yep.
Yeah.
And
So I'm doing better, but sometimes if somebody's not fresh in my mind, like I'll forget like what were their names. So, but I know who I sent it to, so I should be able to find that. So I'll send it over to you. But they do. I met them at a McDonald's in Flower Mound. I was dropping someone off at work, and I was like, "Oh, hang on a second." He's like, "You're addicted." I was like, "That's a contractor. They do contracting. I need to get their number."
So we went to some people. We went to
wear the shirts
yesterday, and we took pictures of all the vans.
Yeah.
I'm like driving down the road. I'm like, shh. Yesterday I text Johnny and I said, I just passed a vehicle that says hardscapes, landscapes, commercial irrigation, commercial, outdoor living spaces and maintenance. And I was like, but I couldn't take a picture. I'm like driving 75 down the tollway. And I'm like, but this is what it says. This is the name of the county. I can find it. I can Google it or look it up on Facebook or whatever. So, okay. Well, that's it.
Perfect.
Correct. All right. We will see you guys when I see you, and everybody stay safe. And I will definitely be back in 2 weeks and give you all the updates and all the good stuff about Cancun.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All right.
Karen.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate.
Bye.
You're welcome.